that government is committed to ensuring that our military is adequately equipped and resourced for the full range of military operations it has to undertake. We will continue to listen to your concerns with an open mind, and we will continue to address these concerns in the best manner we can. Some of the challenges that face us and you involve issues of pensions, and when they involve pensions, they obviously implicate retirement, which for the BDF occurs very early. Maybe there's need to engage on that issue, the age of retirement. I've reflected on it privately. I want us to reflect on it publicly and engage each other and establish whether this age, which has applied for so many years, is the right and perfect age for retirement. To change this country spectacularly in 3 years. So I don't have 10 years, I don't have 5 years, I don't have 6 months to decide whether or not and go to court. No, I don't have that time. People, yourselves need accommodation. And if I'm going to submit myself to a process that will take me 10 years to deliver accommodation to you, then I would have failed you and failed you spectacularly. So what to do? We need to ensure that there's transparency, there's openness, there's accountability in each and every process that we undertake. No doubt, that is not negotiable. And that there is no corruption system. And you say, whatever we do, we must not do this one. You say he's trying to give tenders to his relatives. I want you to know my relatives. Just check, you'll know them. You need to know them so that you can track whether any one of my relatives has any tender. You need to ascertain, you need to be sure about these things, so that when these allegations are flung about, because one is seeking to move from an entrenched system of corruption to something that offers us some redemption, yet you are able to interrogate the allegations. And we must interrogate the allegations together. And so it's going to be very critical for us to find ways of moving away from this corrupt system and engaging in a different one that we can monitor and track, one that delivers results timelessly, within budget, no corruption. And so we need to look for the best practices, and that we will do. You're given the document at 5 p.m., 1,000 pages, whatever it is. First thing in the morning tomorrow, you and I must be talking about the document, settling it. If it has to be signed, we have to sign. And so the Attorney General is now agile. It's taking a bit of time to infuse the same level of agility in other areas, but we will get there. And I see people making uncanny comparisons with Paul Kagame, my good friend Ibrahim Traore, and I say some of these folks are operating in a slightly different environment, where their word is obeyed instantly, without question. It's a different environment. You say, this guy is not doing things. Traore is doing them. Traore wakes up, dreams them up. Following morning, he makes a pronouncement. It is law. It is policy. Action follows. And I wake up and I say stuff. They look at me and say, what is this man talking about? We need to take it through this stage and that stage and put it to tender, float the tender. It takes 2 years. Then we evaluate. Then there are complaints. And there's an interdict. We wait another 4 years. By that time, you have to go and account to the people, and they remove you. Those who came before me did not fail because they didn't have ideas. They did. Maybe even better ideas. They just didn't implement them. Why? Because perhaps they failed to appreciate that the structures that are in place are not properly suited to the attainment of quick action. So you need to subvert some of these rules and processes unapologetically. And I will do it. Let me tell you here and now, I will. Within the confines of the law, and I know it. If there's anything I know, it's the law. That's all I know, really.
What's up, amazing viewers? So, in today's video, we're going to talk about the president of Botswana, President Duma Boko. So this guy came into power just some few months ago, that is in November 2024, and he has come into power after 6 decades of the other party, Botswana Democratic Party, heading or being the presidential candidates all over, like ruling the country from 1966. So this guy, I can tell you, is also implementing the Ibrahim Traore way of doing things, because he has actually come to notice that democracy is like it was meant for us not to be successful, or it was meant to slow our development in Africa. So yesterday he had a very powerful speech. He was actually speaking to the armed forces of Botswana, and he talked a lot of couple of, good things, I would say. You could clearly see him heading towards Ibrahim Traore way of implementing things, because for him, he believes like, when you put a project on the table and then again, democracy allows it that it has to be discussed and then taken to court, and then it goes all round. And at the end of the day, what happens? The term ends, and you have to go to the citizens to actually you have to go to account to them. And by then, the time will be over, and it will be chaos, and they'll have to remove you, which makes sense. He's really inspired by Ibrahim Traore in such a way that, it's just a matter of speaking. It's not like a matter of speaking, but talking less and acting more. Actions speaks louder than words. And, for Ibrahim Traore is this kind of a person who, when he says something today, tomorrow it's law, and it's actually acted on, implemented on. But in these other countries, some of them, I will say, like something comes up and then it has to be discussed for like a week and then taken to court, talked about it, the courts are being postponed left, right, center, and time goes on and projects delay to be implemented. So democracy is something that Ibrahim Traore actually viewed it as a slow development kind of thing. So President Duma Boko is having this dream. But now my question is, there is still an American airbase in Botswana. I think for us to take him seriously, he has to get rid of the American base in Botswana, because now if you have the colonizers still around, it won't make sense when you tell us that, this is what I'm planning to do, actions only and not any other thing. So we hope that he will do it, but I'm not really quite sure, because, most presidents, they really fear being outcasts. Yeah, outcasts. That's what I will say. So Ibrahim Traore effect is what is actually going around Africa at the moment. So let's talk about something else, and that is Africa suffering under democracy. It's like the system was just put there to slow the development. And actually, this guy, the president of Botswana, talked about something else, that is now him introducing all his family members to the citizens, so that they don't come out later and say that, this family is corrupt, or that family is corrupt. The president is giving the family tenders, So he gave them this chance to get to know all his family members, and also get to see, are they going to be the ones doing projects. But at the end of the day, most people don't even use family members. They use proxy companies, which belongs to friends. Most of them don't actually use family members, companies, and it happens all over. So I don't know what he thought about that when he talked about it, because we all know you cannot actually use a family member's details to open an account. Like in a very rare case, you'll just find few people. But now when we talk about Uganda, that is something else, because Uganda, it's like it's being run by one family. But again, guys, this is something that has been impacting Africa in a very negative way, and that is, family-ruled countries. For instance, even in Kenya, you only see family, just few families that want to rule our country, and they don't easily give a chance to any other person. I don't know why power is in such a way that people don't want to go away from it, they just want to cling around it, and they want to be seen powerful. Probably we'll have to discuss more on that in the near future after we do research on it. So what do you think about democracy? Do you think that it is slowing down development in Africa, or do you think that, yeah, it's better? Anyway, one thing that I like about democracy also, it actually prevents, or it helps us, that, those leaders that are in power, they don't misuse it. Because, in the past, we didn't have such kind of a thing. And what happened, like when somebody becomes a president, they found a way of how to re-elect them, forcefully re-elect themselves, even without the will of the citizen. And that's how they will rule a country like forever. And then when they are unable, they want their friends or just immediate person to continue running the government, which will equate to him, running the country in the background, or behind the scenes. So, my good people, send me in the comment section what you think about democracy, Okay, President Boko talked about those people that, or the previous presidents that came before him, and he talked about them failing in some way, not because they didn't want to work, but because they failed to implement. And this implementation part is being affected by, this democracy thing that we have in Africa. But at the same time, I don't know. I don't know what you think about that. And also, do you think that he will change? Do you think that he will change his leadership skills? Because remember, he's a new blood from a new party. People were already tired of the previous party that had ruled the country from 1966 to 24, and now they just wanted they were actually angry for political change. They were angry for so many things, stress, economic stress has been there, youth unemployment was massive. So in short, President Boko has been there for some few months already, around 6 to 8 months there. And already he has started talking about this independent, country that he really dreams of. But I don't know if he will, get the infighting, and also he will be fought by, the West there, because, that's one thing that they do not allow us to do. They don't give us the freedom to rule ourselves and decide for ourselves, So democracy we are talking about is good. But, some people view it as, being this, you see this situation where court injunctions come in and they have to push these things. And anyway, everything in this world, I would say it has an advantage and a disadvantage. There is nothing perfect about it. But for me, I will say, yeah, I just appreciate it 50-50, because there is nothing which is perfect. After all, which system is President Boko talking about? Like, the system was put in place in such a way that it's going to prevent us from development, Africa from prospering. But again, the future of these African countries, they're in the hands of the current leadership. If they want us to prosper, we will for sure prosper. Ibrahim Traore wanted his country to prosper, and it is prospering because a lot of development are taking shape. Actually, it's changing for the good. If you actually watch videos from Burkina Faso, I mean the vloggers there, the YouTubers, you'll see how Burkina Faso is like, there is construction left, right, center, be it building roads, factories, and remember, they are using their own taxes. Ibrahim Traore is someone that has really inspired us. He's showing us that, it is possible to do it on your own. You don't have to depend on foreign power. And there is this one phrase that I'll never miss talking about in these particular videos: whoever feeds you controls you. So always put that in mind. So let's see what President Duma Boko has for the people of Botswana. I can see, from online reactions, they really love him, they appreciate him, and they have hope in him that he's going to change the life of the people of Botswana. And also for us, he's inspiring us also when we see a leader that is dreaming of an independent African country. It really inspires us, because for long we have been in the dark, for long we have been mental slaveries, you know, which is something that has always affected us, you know. And the first thing that these leaders can do is to, you know, chase away the colonizers, I will say, because they still control us, though we cannot see it. You know, in the past you could see it because there was segregation, open segregation, that you will see and feel it. But today, I mean, what is holding us back is mental slavery, mental colonization. And that is it for today. I'll see you in the next one. Kindly subscribe.